Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we are just going to dive straight into things. So with the solo leveling rise of the live stream, it has already happened, it's all finished, all done and dusted, we've got all the key information, and it is true, she is a fire breaker when it comes to the brand new hunter, Esil, of course, who is going to be releasing in a couple of hours time. So I do want to take a brief little look at her. We'll also take a look at we'll take a look at the new weapon also. So weak break damage on her basic attack with the fire element, of course. Core attack also providing weak break with knockdown. Her support skill is fairly interesting. So inflicts a percentage of the user's attack. So increases increases the user's attack by 7%. Deals fire element damage when the skill hits. The prey effect is applied, and then something which is fairly interesting. The Radiru family's longbow damage increases. So now we're specifically going into a specific type of weapon that's getting buffed up from a character. This is something unique and could be a thing going down the line. And this also sets up a future SSR version weapon for a family bow or a Radiru family weapon of form, right? So that's interesting. And then the QTE, again, inflicts a certain percent of the user's attack, increases the user's attack by a certain percent, deals fire damage, provides us with a medium break, and also a knockdown. So let's get on to the skills. So the first skill, Glorious Wounds, fire element, gives us weak break damage, gives us super armor too, so that's going to be interesting to see. And then skill 2, after jumping using single slash to throw the enemy upwards, Esil endows her spear with the power of the lance and rockets forward to quickly stab the enemy. So inflicts the power of the user's attack. So okay, I just realized she's scaling for attack, which is fantastic. Love that. So it does weak break damage. When the final hit lands, it inflicts airborne and gains super. Okay, so she's got super armor across the wazoo when it comes to both her skills, which is fantastic. Alright, so let's kind of see on what is really being thrown into the mix of this character. So the passive skill, when Esil Radiru inflicts the break effect successfully, the duration is longer than normal. Ooh, okay. When using the stabbing spikes, glorious wounds, or cascading glory skills, the user gains the lance effect. Break effectiveness increases by a certain percent in Workshop of Brilliant Light. Ooh, okay, well there's your Workshop of Brilliant Light self factor for this character. When using the stabbing spikes, glorious wounds, or cascading glory skills, the user gains the lance effect. While lance effect is active, the user can lance throw. The user can lance throw that throws a spear that pierces through magically created armor, dealing damage. The effect of lance throw are enhanced while foretold victory effect is active. The damage of lance throw is increased by 7%. When lance throw hits, it inflicts prey effect for the amount of time. So that's the first dupe. Okay. For each fire attribute team member in the party, the user's attack increases by a certain percent. Stackable also applies to Jinwoo. Okay, that is huge. That's massive. Okay, love that. That might be a bit of a chase. A2 at the very least. A3, user starts the battle with a power gauge at a certain amount. When entering the stage, when lance throw hits, it charges their power gauge by a certain percent. Cooldown for lance throw is decreased when foretold victory hits a target whose break gauge is at a certain percent or below. It puts them in a break state. Wow. I'm curious on whether or not if it's a thing where the breakage bar is still at that certain percent, but they go into the break state, so that way it'll be like a consecutive break state. That would be crazy. Okay, so that's something to look forward to. A4, for each fire attribute team member in the party, the user's penetration rate increases by a certain percent. Also applies to Jinwoo. Ooh, okay. And then the final dupe, the defense penetration of the entire team is increased. Oh, hello, okay. Gains 1 additional lance throw when using Death Rush. When lance throw hits the target under break state, it inflicts prey on the weak effect, and then it increases target's fire damage by a certain percent. Okay, well, it seems that in terms of breakage, Emma, it seems you have got some fire competition, pun intended. This Esil actually is looking to be a crazy, fantastic firebreaker now. What is happening? Oh, I forgot to mention her ultimate. My bad. So, yeah, it pretty much rains arrows. So it deals fire element damage with weak break damage. Even though it's given us weak and medium, it is making up from like how she can, well, the whole percentage play in terms of doing more breakage effectiveness. So that kind of what makes up for it. So it sounds weak, you know, with the wording, but in reality with the passive it is truly making up for it. So that's fairly interesting. The weapon itself increases the user's attack. The additional attack of the wait, what? The additional attack of the team member with the highest critical hit rate increases by an amount of Esil Radiru's additional attack. Oh, okay. You know what? This is just setting up even more for the next character in terms of fire DPS. Oh, I am here for all of this. Oh god, hell yeah. Okay, so from what I've seen and my thoughts overall, we have, yeah, I mean look, Emma's been holding it down for the longest in terms of how crazy of a breaker she is. But I think we found ourselves another well done, fantastic breaker, of course, with Esil. Especially how you can really just kind of put the enemy in that break state a little bit early on. So yeah, Emma's finally, well, we don't have to rely consistently all on Emma now, of course, which I still do think Emma's going to be, you know, she's still going to be doing her thing. She's still going to be a fantastic character for that breakage. But yeah, Esil might, I don't want to say it, but she might be slightly above her. But we'll try that out. I mean, it all comes down to on the early, well, no, Esil can get the early breakage. They kind of clarified that through the passive. But yeah, I'm looking at her attacks and skills. Oh my god, they look kind of, I mean, she is just draining it. Look at it. What the frick? Yeah, Emma. I think we found ourselves the new breaker. Jesus Christ. Okay, she was draining that bar so beautifully, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so I'm happy and I'm impressed. It is one up in Emma in my eyes, but I still feel like Emma's still going to be usable in certain situations, like that time attack mission for the 5 bosses. Like, there are still some scenarios which I'm still going to be catering to my girl Emma, I'm not going to lie. But for such as events like these, with the new workshop being light and whatnot, and just tougher bosses, I think I know who I'm going to be utilizing a little bit more. Yeah, it's going to be Esil. Well, just look at it. Look at her go. What the frick? That bar is literally like hot butter in a pan. It is melting. All right, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Dupe wise, I mean, I really want to get the fact that the A2 and the A4 apply to Jinwoo too. That's something to look forward to and cater to, I guess. All right, so we do have the fan. So basic attack. So Sun Jinwoo swings the fan, so it does fire damage, airborne, core attack, fire element damage. Okay, so just making sure that no additional things are being added through these skills themselves. Okay, that's fine. So when it comes to the weapon passive, when the user uses the core gauge, it fully charged the fire flower skill becomes the fleeting youth and beauty skill, and the user recovers a certain percent of their MP and gains the butterflies effect when the skill hits. Okay. Fleeting youth and beauty skills damage and MP consumption is the same as the fire flower and uses 100% of the core gauge charge. Deals heavy break damage. Ooh, a breaker. Oh, hello. Okay, hold up, wait a minute, they're cooking now. They're cooking. I kind of vibe with this, more of the core gauge being active too. Okay, this could also work with the dagger skill, I guess, for the fire element, because that will get your gauge, your core gauge pre-active. So there's that. Butterflies effect increases fire damage by a certain percent and increases the user's MP recovery rate by a certain percent. Okay, so that initial passive already is huge. Loving that. Okay, what are the additionals? When the fire break skill is used, gain 1 instance of butterflies effect. When the fire flower or fleeting youth and beauty hits, they inflict the high fever effect. Increases the user's fire damage by a certain percent when using the high fever effect. The user regains a certain percent of their MP when target is hit. using the high fever effect applied. Okay, so already that's a good little support play for doubling up on the fire element. Increases the user's fire damage by a certain percent. Beautiful, we like those. Keeping it keeping it standard. A3, when Butterflies has stacked to 6 times, Fire Demon is activated. Butterflies instances are removed and stop accumulating. The user's fire damage and MP recovery rate increases by a certain percent. The critical hit rate and critical hit damage of the user's fire core skill increase. Okay, that's pretty much doubling up for the fan and the bow. When the fire's basic skill is used, the user gains super armor. Okay. A3 is kind of where I would love to get it at. I'm just going to put it out there. Devs, if you can give me the RNG luck, appreciate it. Decrease the cooldown of Fire Flower, Fleeting Youth, and Beauty. W, okay. When the user's core gauge starts out fully... Wait, what? The user's core gauge starts out fully charged when entering the stage. When all users' equipped weapons are fire weapons, their fire damage increases by a certain percent. Honestly, with the way that this weapon is setting up the core, as well as that A3, it is a nice little double up pair with the Phoenix Soul Bow. So, yeah, this is even more of a sell factor. More of an incentive. I like what I'm seeing. It just really depends on what percentages and what we're working with. But overall, yeah, no, this Fire Fan is, it sounds great. And again, this is something that I was waiting on to see and whether or not if it will double up and support with, or sorry, work with the fire element, of course. So with the Phoenix Soul Bow, more primarily, of course. And from the duping side of it, yeah, as well as the passive too. Well, the initial passive, should I say. So I'm happy about that. Okay, so we do have a little bit of, because I know it wasn't fully looked into because they didn't have like a full-on card of it, but alright, so I just had to I had to really slow it down so that way we can actually see what's going on. So when the user uses Vanishing Shade, it creates a veil of poison around them. Veil of Poison inflicts the Kasaka's deadly poison and spasms effect on the targets within the poisonous zones. Cooldown 1 second, duration is 7 turns. Deadly Poison deals damage equal to 110% of the user's attack every 3 seconds. Decreases the target's HP recovery rate by 70%. And then Spasms, when the effect has stacked, I assume that's... when the effect has stacked 5 times, it activates the Paralyze effect, decreases the target's attack by 3%, and duration of 3 seconds. And then you can paralyze it and interrupt the target for 1 turn, or 1 second, should I say. Okay, that's a bit of a W of a weapon already. We like those. When the user uses Vanishing Shade, they gain a shield. Entering the instant dungeons activates the Dungeon Killer effect. When the title Wolf Assassin Blessing Stone is equipped, it activates the Kasaka's Gaze. Wait, I kind of like this. It's like in the anime. And then the shield, so you get 30% of your max HP as a shield, so that's fantastic. Dungeon Killer increases critical hit rate and critical hit damage by 20%. Vanishing Fade always deals water element damage as if it's the target's weakness, regardless of the target's element. Oh my god, okay, hold up, wait a minute. Kasaka's Gaze increases damage dealt to bosses by the same amount dealt to normal monsters through the title Wolf Assassin. What? And this is A1. Oh my god, hold up. This is a fantastic weapon for all accounts in terms of if you're a newbie or if you've been playing for a long time. Like in general, that A1 is crazy for getting through those dungeons. When the user, the user's water damage increases by 10%. Okay, when the user uses Vanishing Shade, it activates Majestic Kasaka effect. The Kasaka's deadly poison effect is enhanced, so increase the attack by 20% for 10 seconds. That's massive. And then when it comes to the deadly poison, it goes up by 200%. Oh no, we didn't see all of it. Oh, well, I mean, with the amount that we've seen so far, yeah, this is looking to be a fantastic free-to-play water weapon. The fact that you can make it so that they take water element damage too, that's beautiful. So yeah, that's a free W weapon. I'm just gonna put that out there. But yeah, that's pretty much all that we have. So the Fire Fan is looking to be a fantastic pair weapon, so about time, because every other typing has a nice little pair. Esil really is coming across to be a fantastic breaker. So I mean, you can still resort to using Emma, but Esil is looking to be more updated, and she is melting through that breakage bar way more faster than from how I'm seeing it. Emma, but again, we'll see once we get our hands on her. But that's what it's looking like through what we were shown. And then in terms of that free water weapon, yeah, they've done it in a perfect way in my eyes. And then the code, by the way, if you guys don't know, it's Fan You Believe It. So you get 50 blessing powders and then 100 rune fragments. The remaining codes were given in the KR live stream. So overall, it is looking pretty good with the new character and the new weapons that we're getting through the banners themselves. Is it worth picking up? I mean, everything is being updated now in terms of the element coverage. So with Esil being the newest breaker, she is coming across as a fantastic unit for that breakage side of things for the fire element, so it is slightly worth. Again, you're more than welcome to pull her at a later time, because if you want to cater to more for the fire element, I mean, the first year anniversary is not that far off, so there's that. Radiru is going to be here in 2 months time, so I mean, if that's something you want to cater to, if you're happy with where your Emma is at right now, then you can quite easily skip and get Esil through the custom draw banner. That option is always there. You can always resort to that option, hence why in my previous video I spoke about Thomas, because he will be in that option. But I'm going heads in. You know, Emma's been holding it down for the longest, 7 months. She it's time to give her some more support. Well, not exactly support, because basically bring in someone else that can also carry the weight. Because I feel like there's been a lot of burden, a lot on Emma's shoulder. Time to kind of ease that off and get that new breaker in.